Are you in a toxic relationship and want to get out of it? Do you think your partner, boss, or friend is a narcissist? High control, low empathy, manipulative behaviors, attitude of entitlement? These traits and more describe the narcissist. If you have a close relationship with a narcissist, you know how it can often bring out the worst in you. Have you ever dealt with an individual that has such a grandiose sense of self-importance that they needed to diminish your value in order to feel validation? Well, on today's episode on Life Trials by EAC, we're going to answer those questions. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to Life Trials by EAC with your favorite Playboy model, political analyst, Miss Elizabeth. I hope everybody's doing very well today. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful, lovely Friday morning here on the east coast of Florida. It is about 11 a.m. Oh yeah. So here we go. In today's episode, I wanted to discuss the topic of narcissism, the impact it has on today's society, and the experience I've had from my past, which I dealt with a more particular type of narcissist known as a malignant psychopathic narcissist. So we are going to start today's episode with defining what narcissism means. And I want to first put this disclaimer out there. I am not a physician, nor am I diagnosing anybody, but much rather making an assessment from a set of facts, in-depth knowledge into the topic, and my personal experience dealing with a specific type of narcissist and how profoundly it impacted my life and those around me. This information today has been sourced by the YouTube channel called Surviving Narcissism with Laura Charanza and Dr. Les Carter. Their YouTube channel has 60 million views on YouTube, and they are practicing physicians that deal with these mental disorders. So, as I had mentioned, we first will be defining narcissism and then stating some facts from the Mayo Clinic. So, according to the Mayo Clinic, they define narcissism as a personality disorder, also called NPD, which is where a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. The narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men, of course. The cause is pretty much unknown, but likely to involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, a sincere disregard for others' feelings, and an inability to handle any criticism, and of course, such a high sense of entitlement. The disorder needs to be diagnosed by a professional, and treatment involves a lot of talk therapy. They report that fewer than 200 cases per year in the United States. Supposedly, it's a fairly rare personality disorder, which I think that needs to be reevaluated, in my opinion, because it's been on the rise here, at least in America. The Mayo Clinic also suggests that treatment can help, but this condition cannot be cured, and it's chronic. Yikes. So a more specific type of narcissism that I wanted to discuss today is considered the financial abuse that a narcissism can inflict on an individual, and that is more pertaining to what I had to experience. So we will first discuss the financial abuse from the narcissist and how this specific type of narcissism impacted my life. So these type of individuals are inclined, and their only purpose in themselves is to have this sense of control over every aspect of their lives and the lives around them. It's this sense of authoritativeness that leads to financial abuse from the narcissist. So they have this sense of control that they want to have, and will sometimes want to literally get inside of us and mentally run away with our own sense of control. And when this happens, they usually cross the line over 99% of the time, and this becomes more predominant when these individuals engage with others. And when those others are empaths like myself, who then decide, okay, well, I trust this person enough to, take care of certain financial aspects of my life because of, other factors, like I was pursuing my academics and stuff like that. So there was some financial dependence on this individual. So that is where the control was seized by that narc. Narcissists tend to focus on extrinsic motivators like money and rewards rather than personal growth and fulfillment. Because money and material wealth are highly important to narcissists, they often become a focal point of their relationships, sometimes resulting in financial abuse. Not sometimes. Literally. That is exactly what I have had to experience from the malignant narcissist that I had to deal with in my past. The financial abuse can take many forms. It can affect property, assets, personal belongings, bank accounts, investments, job sites, and even schooling and housing needs. The most basic form of financial abuse is that of controlling, paychecks or the amount shown, transfers, anything of that nature. So in this particular situation, I have had the narcissist completely upend my financial well-being, has withheld my money, stolen a lot of my assets, and that's how they have manipulated the situation to their own advantage to then cause damage to me. Narcissists also have no misgivings or regret over destroying another person's property, destroying my credit, destroying my financial well-being, my financial well-standing in the world, even though he was the one that cheated on me for 5 years out of the 7 years. He literally left me for a woman my mom's age. It's like a fucking title of a chapter in a book. And he was the one that stole my stock money, committed such horrifying acts, extorted me once I found out about that other relationship, and has completely upended my life financially because he decided throughout our relationship to provide to me supposedly gifts, but these gifts were on loans. And then because I decided to take these gifts from the millionaire, now the millionaire is making me pay for that. And this, it's obviously been difficult because imagine being left with such an excessive amount of debt from a millionaire who stole money and committed so many horrifying acts of financial abuse towards me that now I'm having to pick up the pieces. And then I have like monthly expenses that run up to $10,000 a month because of this individual. But you think this person cares? They do not. Narcissists also have no misgivings or regret over destroying another person's property. In fact, ruining personal items makes the narcissist feel powerful. They have no remorse for destroying another person's financial well-being. And that makes a lot of sense to me because this specific fact here is that, especially in my circumstance, dealing with a malignant narcissist who left me, extorted me sexually, trying to get me to comply with his horrifying suggestions just to keep my life, but then ended up like financially abusing me anyways over the last literally 9 months. And you think this person has any remorse for his behavior, even though he was the one that cheated, lied, stole, and created such a mess for me? Of course not. You think they have any remorse for causing so much financial damage that can honestly, some of it not be replaceable? A narcissist will never offer to pay for or replace what they destroyed, and instead attempt to shame you for forcing them to act like they did. And that right there is actually a really important, another highly important fact. So all the debt that my ex put me in, he blames that on me. The assets that I acquired over the last 7 years, he has stolen from me or asked for those things back instead of paying for things that he gave to me. You think that anybody would have walked into the Porsche dealership last December and put a gun to the guy's head and said, yo, give me $100,000 car? No. He went out of his way to get me that custom-made vehicle, right? And then literally 90 days later, the guy goes and says, oh, you deserve another car, after our fight from Valentine's Day when he was with another woman, like 2 other women, and wasn't with me. And he was like, oh, no, you know what? This is how I'm going to make this up. I'm going to go and buy you another car, right? On loan, mind you, not pay it cash out, nothing like that, from a millionaire. To then, from that moment, 120 days later is when he left me and has caused so much financial destruction to my life for the fact that he cheated, stole, lied, and all that stuff. Has shamed me and has tried to embarrass me by thinking that people are not going to like me anymore because I may like not want my cars anymore. But it's like, you think people give a fuck about that? They don't. The only reason why I'm holding on to all my assets is because that's all I have now, because a lot of it was stolen by a millionaire. They have no remorse, and all they do is shame their victims for forcing the victimizer to victimize them. It's sickening. A more covert way of being financially abused is not being allowed to flourish professionally and academically. Talking a partner out of a promotion or a degree program is a selfish and controlling move and ensures that the narcissist stays in control. This is like probably the most important fact that I'm going to mention here today. So I have been pursuing my academics for the last decade of my life. This is where the narcissist took full control over my financial well-being, and I obviously allowed for him because I was in the pursuits of my academic career. And anytime I wanted to get a job, anytime I wanted to, kind of like start having a income for myself, he would diminish my value and say, why is it that I want to, get my own money if he's taking care of me? So it was such a hard sense of manipulation, controlling the ability for me to be financially independent, and hindered the ability for me to flourish professionally and academically. And instead of, trying to, hand down some skills that once we had terminated things, instead of him trying to destroy my life financially for him cheating, stealing, lying, and being so disgusting and deceptive, having sex with women in their late 40s. Instead of like all of that, and because of all of that, I'm blamed for all of that. And then it's taken out on me. I've had my life financially upended because of the narc. Narcissists are overly preoccupied with material possessions and wealth. That's all they give a fuck about. Literally, that's all they care about, right? And that reminds me of that person, because literally that individual would not have anybody around him unless there was a monetary tie to that individual between him and the individual. If he had no wealth, he would have nobody around him. All he has is his money. That is it. And he knows that. And it's sad. It's sick. It's sick. It becomes about the show and not about the substance. That's all it is for this person. All it is to show off. Look at this car that I got on loan. Look at that car that I got on loan. Look at the Lamborghini that I got. I also got that on loan. Like, nobody gives a fuck. You're like a child putting fucking stickers on like $500,000 vehicles. Like, you think that people are like super happy and proud of you? Like, they're making fun of you, guy. But they do that for this, like this feeling of grandiose importance by others, and have others be like, oh my god, he's so cool because he has this car that he got on loan. The person he got you, it got on loan, but you're still paying for it. Like, such a fucking loser. Narcissists will feel the need to brag about their possessions and apparent wealth and use these things to win people over. He would literally have nobody in his life today if it wasn't for his money. He's a horrible human being. He treats people like they're garbage. He has no respect for women. He sees them beneath him. And these type of narcissists just see life in that way. They may brag about their titles, cars or houses. Cars, yeah, everything on loan though. but then refuse. This is the best part, right? They may brag about their titles, their paychecks, their money. I'm a millionaire, all this stuff, multi-billion-dollar corporation, all this shit. They brag about all these things, right? But then refuse to pay their half of a bill or accept financial compensation. But then refuse to pay their half of a bill or accept financial compensation that they owe to an individual. Narcissists are also known to lie and cover up their bank statements and legal situations to get more money in alimony or child support. That sounds really crazy. People become pawns. Even the lawyers and judges and child support becomes more about financially rooting the ex-partner than caring for the children of the relationship. So this specific statement right here is really profoundly, it just equates to what I'm like dealing with. There is such a sense of legal abuse that these people inflict on others because they try to just dominate and destroy and destruct instead of just trying to resolve the issue, engage in just very simplistic conflict resolution. They just want to be at war, literally, and destroy. Like, they get a sense of self-satisfaction destroying another person's life. And imagine, like, having somebody in their 50s destroy a 29-year-old's life because he was the one that cheated, stole, lied, having 2 full-blown relationships with 2 different women. I mean, it's just like, it's just too much, Other people, even those they profess to love, may become simply dollar signs. Many narcissists are unable to have true relationships with other people. Friends, lovers, children, even parents are just a means to an end. What the narcissist can get from someone else is the paramount purpose of the relationship. Let me read that again. What the narcissist can get from someone else is the paramount purpose of the relationship. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. It's sickening. It's disgusting. People are just a means to an end for them. A paramount purpose of the relationship. When money is involved, it creates another method of control and power. Hiding money, always did that. Lying about money, always did that. Stealing from others, he did that to me. And refusing to help someone in financial distress makes the narcissist powerful and in charge. He has enjoyed putting me in financial distress for things that have his name on it and that he bought for me as a gift. I think that's disgusting. From a millionaire, okay? All relationships are a game devoid of love and true meaning beyond fulfilling the narcissist. That's it. That's all it is. Like, that woman thinks that ring that he magically gave her just to shut her the fuck up because this is a woman in her late 40s and shit, because she saw the Cartier ring that he gave me last year in January. It was only like a $10,000 ring. But because it said wedding band, she lost it. And obviously he knows that, like, I would never go back to that. So obviously it's like he was about to lose his grandma. So yeah, so crazy. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. All relationships are a game devoid of love and true meaning beyond fulfilling the narcissist. Like, it's so crazy. Like, just to shut this person up, just to keep them, be in control of them. He's like, here you go, bro. Here's this fucking, like, play ring over here that doesn't even look like an engagement ring, and that fucking, yeesh, that's so ugly, bro. It's so ugly. Like, you forced a man to, like, propose to you, like a fake proposal. Like, that's sick. And then to be in your late 40s forcing a man to propose to you, like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Yikes. But that's, like, and just like he did to her, he did to me too. He got me that ring and was like, like, I stay please, even though I'm cheating on you and shit for 5 years out of the 7 years with me that we weren't even married, doing all of that for nothing, putting me in a love triangle for nothing, not giving me the opportunity to decide whether I want to be a part of that? Of course not, because it's the true meaning beyond fulfilling the narcissist. They have no fucking purpose besides what they can get from you at that moment, and they're on to the next one. Discard, disposable culture. This is what we're living in now, is a sense of disposable culture. It's disgusting. And this leads me into the conversation about, a covert narcissist and what covert narcissism is. So it's the ends that justify the means. And this is from this political theory from a very long time ago called machiavellianism, which is a personality trait that denotes cunningness, the ability to be manipulative, and a drive to use whatever means necessary to gain power. Machiavellianism is one of the traits that forms the dark tirade, along with narcissism and psychopathy. Because these individuals will do whatever it takes and gain whatever means necessary to get and acquire the power at any cost. Any method of deception they can utilize to maintain power, they will do so at any cost. At the cost of the lives of others, their children, their family, it doesn't matter. If you have to lie, cheat, steal just to have people do your bidding to assure they, attain power, nothing else matters. And which is done at any cost. It's pretty gross and disgusting. Honesty is irrelevant, extremely devious, and it's expedient for these people. So what is, a psychopath, antisocial disorder known as malignant narcissism, So I'm going to define now what a malignant narcissism or what a malignant narcissist is. They're obviously mean the same thing. Malignant narcissism often involves a combination of internal fragility, aggression, and general suspiciousness of those around them. They are known for being severely manipulative, and the lack of empathy for others often means that they will do what they must in order to get what they want. These individuals are sufferers from a more pervasive lack of empathy than someone with narcissistic personality disorder alone, and will lack feelings of guilt, remorse for the damage they cause on others. These individuals consistently demonstrate low levels of empathy and high levels of entitlement, pathologically defensive, and don't receive input well. They believe they are better and different than everyone else on earth and should be treated accordingly. That reflects that individual. They make up their own truths. That's that individual. Create a favorable public impression. They'll buy out everybody just for people to like them. Literally. That's like how sad they are. They chronically push against societal changes, like the empowerment of women, their growth, and how they are very, they're, they're escalated to a position of power, and these individuals do not like that at all. Morality, they do not encompass. It's nothing to them. It's worse than animalistic. They have no sense of remorse. Conflict with them is extremely difficult to the point of impossible. So that's what I thought when I got out of that 7-year wasteful time of a relationship. I thought that we would be able to resolve our differences financially, and that's it. And then move on. He can go be with 10, 20, 100 people, fuck them all, train and everything, and leave me the fuck alone. No, bro. No. It was like his ultimate purpose was to destroy everything I've created, especially in the last 2 years with the modeling and stuff, because they became so jealous, envious of a woman they had and that they were having a whole relationship with. Conflict with them is extremely difficult to the point of impossible. That is exactly what I have been dealing with. Instead of just letting me go, instead of just paying up the things that you owe me, that you stole from me, they have made my life impossible. And I don't even know how anybody can like engage in such a sense of destruction of another person's life for the things that they did to that person. It's a fucking, like, it's an illness that people need to know about these type of people. And it's crazy because they're very entitled, highly self-focused, and they have such a sense of desperation to always be superior to others that is like the most important thing to them. They don't care about anything else. They have such a low regard for others and their feelings. It's this sense of a defiant pattern of behavior with no particular conscience, lying, constantly deceptive, common abusive, mean, cruel tactics being like lured at people that are just trying to resolve an issue with them, but instead of being an adult and civil, they just lash out as children with this defiant pattern of behavior. Imagine seeing a 50-something-year-old man extorting a woman that he was with for 7 years because the woman found out about his other relationship. So instead of him apologizing, taking accountability for your actions, they start to engage in this defiant pattern of behavior. He has no conscience whatsoever, lying like a psychopath, and engaging in abusive, mean, cruel tactics to try to diminish my value. They're impervious to the pain that they perpetrate to others, and it's just very difficult to deal with these type of people. And what's even scarier is that sometimes the psychopaths can see their pathological patterns and purposefully deflect, and they'll use that and they'll embrace that as a symbol of honor to behave in this manner, enjoying the mistreatment of others. That's how sick that person is. That's how sick these people are, that they have a sense of enjoyment in engaging in behavior that mistreats other people. Having such a low level of consciousness allows for them to embrace such a psychologically sickening pattern of behavior. When you don't care about people, when you don't love them, and you want to like literally destroy a person's life because you're so gross, like you hate yourself so much that you have to project that on other people. And when like that equates literally to having that low level of any consciences, that allows for them to embrace such a psychologically sickening pattern of behavior. Meanness is a way of life for these people. It's disgusting, bro. And like they have such a like bad, bold sense of exploiting their victims. Like they're very bold in forcing dominance with no apologies for that. The sense of, condescending is the only way they think they are so important. That gives them their value, is being derogatory, putting other people down, destroying another person's life. That's the only way they can elevate. They have such a disdain towards others. And they must always be in this superior position, always looking for the next stimulation because they're always bored and never happy. So whenever you tell them no, or you don't agree with something, or you don't provide to them the stimulation that they need, they're going to go look for it elsewhere. Doesn't matter what it is. They just want to hear it. They don't even care about what that thing looks like. Whatever it is. It's a way to exploit other people. Literally. It's just a part of who they are to the core. They're highly callous people. They have no regard. They take absolutely no accountability whatsoever for their bad behavior. Absolutely nothing. They will use heavy communications of shame and blame and will go into legal abuse making. They love to engage in legally abusing those that they have to deal with, that have to resolve conflict with. That is exactly what I've had to deal with since January of this year, is this sense of legal abuse. And how dare I go and acquire legal counsel? Like, how dare I go, right, and practice my constitutional right to receive legal services, right? And I mean, just did everything he could to buy out my lawyers, lie to them, be deceptive, never provided requested evidence, doctored a lot of things. I mean, instead of just resolving the issues, they will go into legal abuse, making it miserable for the individual, and have found lawyers to abuse me as well, sending frivolous letters, making really outlandish claims that are not, substantiated by any evidence. Has lawyers literally risking their license just to attempt to weaponize the legal system and law enforcement. That is what they do, and that's what they live for. And what's sad is that when you try to plead your case to the psychopath, that is just the actual fuel to their soul. That fuels their dark, devilish soul. That I show such a sense of vulnerability, and that's where they crush you day in and day out. It's disgusting. And I remember like those days when I found out about everything. I was super sad. Like, there was such a sense of depression that I had in my heart and in my soul that I couldn't even believe. Excuse me. I couldn't even believe that I didn't even know who I was with, It's scary. Like this person was having sex with me and he hated me. He has such a disdain for me in my life. And when I asked him why he did all of this and why he was destroying my life when he was the one that cheated, stole, lied, manipulated, extorted me sexually, I got no apology, nothing. All of this was my fault. They're pervasively arrogant. They can give 3 fucks over their own body as to the impact that their actions leave on others. They're prone to emotional abuse, seeking pure vengeance against those that just want out of their life for no reason, nothing. They don't experience tender emotions, and if they do, it's for a very slight amount of time, and they usually ignore it as much as they possibly can. And the way they think is, as soon as an individual shows their vulnerability to them, they take it as time to defeat, destruct, diminish, and destroy ultimately, because they consider those type of people weak, and weak people must be taken out. That's literally how they think. These type of people are impossible to deal with. The norms of conflict resolution will never be feasible with these people. It's just collateral damage, Always mocked, ridiculed. The individual that they're trying to resolve, they don't just disagree with you, but they have such a sense of contempt for you. This dislike of you as a person, and have this sense of disgust that takes the sense of disdain, insinuates that they're always above you. They have divided loyalties. A relationship to a narcissist is not a shared responsibility. They definitely don't share the same loyalties though. So they don't have any responsibilities to a relationship. You do though. And you must comply with those loyalties. But don't think for a second that that's going to be a shared responsibility with the narc. It is the worst thing that can happen to somebody with respects to how impactful these people can be when they become so vile and vicious, like what a malignant narcissist is. The societal impact is so profound. The damage. And what's even scarier is that there is this term called ego-syntonic, which to them, it relates to the aspects of their own behavior and attitudes, and they view it as an acceptable way of life, and it's consistent with their own fundamental personality and beliefs, which is extremely destructive in our society, because when you have people walking around causing such destruction, and then they really have this fundamental belief that what they do is okay, it's fucking satanic. So it's scary. They're okay with their behavior. It's okay to hurt people. It doesn't disturb them. There's no internal check that they go into or have a process of saying, hey, listen, I'm fucking destroying a person. No. They have no conscience. Nothing. That this is a construct that is destructive. Psychopathic. Disgusting. It's despicable. And I felt the need to ensue such a discussion today because I feel that a lot of people do not speak up about such profoundly abuses like financial abuse, because obviously the individual cannot physically harm me because they will go to jail, but these type of individuals will engage in this type of abuse because they can, and it's sickening. It's a fucking illness that needs to be put out there for people to know, to then take the precautionary steps to avoid these type of people whatsoever. Reevaluate your relationships. Be attentive to people's words and their inherent intents within a specific relationship, because you just never know. And that's what happened to me, and I would never wish this upon anybody. I would never wish what happened to me to happen to anybody, even my worst, and I don't have any enemies that I know of. I don't hate nobody. I have no enemies, but I would not wish this upon the worst person that has ever wished bad upon me, because these type of people are sick. They're sick, but they don't want others to know that they behave like this. Oh, no. Oh, no, sister. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and please fucking subscribe to my YouTube channel, Live Trials by EAC, and all the platforms that are hosting my podcast. And please also consider supporting me on my website, 𝑗𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂 if you have any subjects that you guys would like to hear me assess, please write it in the comment section. I love you guys so much. And thank you again for tuning in to Life Trials by EAC with yours truly. Love you. Bye-bye.